Hi, my name is Anna, and I want to share with you a little bit of what we're doing this week. As most of you know, starting this week, our whole church is going to be exploring various ways of connecting with God, mainly based on Gary Thomas's Sacred Pathways. And by now, you've all received an email from Petty with a questionnaire to help us find which pathway we identify with the most. And this is not new to many of you, right? Like there's, many of you, most of you have already seen the book, have already, read the book years ago. I remember that perhaps almost 10 years ago, I did a similar questionnaire. And I would say that back then, the pathway that I was most comfortable with was the pathway of the intellectuals. Just because I'm a bit of a bookworm and quite a bookworm. And I love studying, I love reading, I love learning. I love pulling out, like my concordances. I love looking at the Greek and the Hebrew and reading the scripture in that way and engaging intellectually with the scriptures. I love that. And yet in recent years, I have come across contemplative ways of relating to God that have enriched my life incredibly. And it happens to be that this week, the first week of our series, we will start with contemplation. Now, you may ask, what is contemplation? What do you mean by that? Well, Gary Thomas, he describes contemplatives as those who seek God through personal adoration and devotion. And what I'll have to add to that is that it's really, the aim is really of contemplative practices is to move from the head to the heart, is the best way to describe it. And there are many practices that fall under the contemplative umbrella. You have Lectio Divina, which many of you are familiar with, centering prayer. There's also welcoming prayer and the daily examen. This Wednesday, I hope to be able to share with you a little bit more in depth about the daily examen. It is a practice that in the recent year or two, I have incorporated into my routine, and it's helped me immensely. And the whole point of the daily examen is to be able to, at the end of your day, to reflect on the events of the day, the good ones, the difficult ones, all of it, and to pick out the most significant ones and to bring God into them. And it's a great way of connecting emotionally with God through the good things and the bad things of life, the mundane and the incredible, like just everything that happens in a person's life. So I really hope that you're able to join us on Wednesday, and with all of these things that we will share, be it the contemplative practice or other pathways that we will look at, I hope that at least they pique your interest to perhaps look at other ways and maybe supplement the ways in which you already practice your walk with God and the things that you do in your walk with God. And I hope that they will be as beneficial and as enriching for you as they have been for me. Thank you.